Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Saturday, the 10th of August 2024. Today was match day, the first match of the new season, and yes, it was a stinker, wasn't it? Did you watch it? Did you see it? Did you go? Yeah, we lost 3-2 to Watford, and there's a lot to go through. So, a team that is quite obviously one of the worst teams in the division, and we lost at home to them 3-2. A team that hadn't scored in 4 games previously at the Den managed to score 3 goals against us. One of the easiest games we've got this month in a month that contains Watford, Bristol City, Hull, and Sheffield Wednesday in August, and this was a game that you would say on paper was one of the easier ones, and one of the ones that we would probably need to win. So what happens now? 0 points in August? I don't know. This is the match report from millwallfc.co.uk. So Millwall were beaten 3-2 by Watford at the Den in the Sky Bet Championship on Saturday afternoon. Goals from Ido Kayembe and George Chavadaraba put the Hornets into a 2-0 lead in South London. But Duncan Watmore's double seemed to have won the Lions a point, only for Mileta Rajevic's 90th minute goal to win the game for the visitors. Millwall also hit the woodwork twice during the 90 minutes. Neil Harris named Lucas Jensen in goal for the visit of the Hornets, whilst Sean Hutchinson's second debut was handed to him by the head coach in the absence of the suspended Japhet Tanganga. Liam Roberts and Macaulay Langstaff were selected on the substitutes bench, which also included Kevin Nisbet and Adamian Maku. The emotional tributes to Matija Saga took place before kick-off at the Den, with the Lions using the electric atmosphere to their advantage as they made the early running against their opponents. Francisco Serralta received an early booking for bringing down Tom Bradshaw 30 yards from goal before reigning player of the season Ryan Leonard timed his recovery challenge to perfection, winning the goal kick at the other end and getting the fans off their feet. Duncan Watmore's through ball to the on-rushing Joe Bryan was claimed by Daniel Bachmann on 18 minutes, with Watford's first shot in anger coming 2 minutes later, I think that's meant to say, as Ryan Andrews shaped to strike low and beyond Jensen into the bottom corner. The Dane, however, stretching to divert the ball wide. From that corner kick, however, came the opening goal as Kayembe's set piece somehow made its way beyond everyone waiting in the penalty area, including the goalkeeper, and into the net. Yes, if you have not seen it, the Watford's player's first goal came directly from a corner kick. Directly. Nobody touched it. It went straight from the corner kick, swinging into the goal. A cross was half flicked towards goal by the head of Bradshaw as the Lions looked to respond before patient build-up saw the ball worked into the box, only for the final pass to be blocked. Hutchinson, meanwhile, had to make a last-ditch challenge to prevent the Hornets from being on goal with 10 minutes to play until the half-time break, with more defenders to be done just a minute later as Watford advanced into the box. Mill's best chance of date came on 38 minutes as after Watmore created a space in the area and the ball broke to George Honeyman, the midfielder struck the base of the post with his first effort before his rebound was cleared off the line. There were also suspicions of a foul on Watmore in the build-up, but the referee, John Busby, was unmoved. George Saville crashed a header against the post 5 minutes into the second half as the Lions hit the woodwork for the second time, but in 55 minutes, Watford doubled their lead via a stunning free kick from Chikvadze, the Hornet blasting home from 30 yards out. Yes, so we've gone from a team that scores from set pieces to a team that concedes from set pieces in terms of Watford scoring directly from a corner and directly from a free kick. Langstaff replaced Honeyman for his Millwall debut on 62 minutes in a double move that also saw SA make way for Maku with a lengthy stoppage, then following a nasty clash of heads involving Leonard, but the right back stayed on, albeit heavily bandaged. Smart and quick play involving Bradshaw and Watmore then set up an opportunity for Amaku, with the Irishman seeing his attempt blocked behind, and Saville heading the resulting corner over as another Lions chance went begging. On the 74 minutes, Mill halved the deficit as dogged play down the left allowed the ball to bounce into the path of Watmore, the attacker making no mistake in guiding an effort home from off the crossbar. Danny McNamara and Kevin Nisbet came on for the final 7 minutes of the afternoon, replacing Leonard and Bradshaw, and with 2 minutes left on the clock, the Lions were level as Saville won back possession in midfield and played in Watmore, who struck home across goal to equalise. If you actually watch it back, actually Kevin Nisbet won the ball. Kevin Nisbet, back by the centre circle, made the tackle, and the ball, then he tried to pass it to Maku. The Watford player stuck his lug on and it went through to Saville, and Saville broke with the ball. Saville didn't win back the ball. Saville got the ball from a Kevin Nisbet interception. However, just 2 minutes later, Watford were to win the game as a fortunate deflection allowed the unmarked Rajovic to nod past Jensen. There was another chance for Mill not in the 9 minutes of second half stoppage time, because obviously there was, I think, 2 lengthy stoppages for injuries, so we had 9 minutes of second half stoppage time. But Watmore could only find the save of Bachmann as he looked for his hat-trick, inviting crosses into the box followed, but most notably from Nisbet, but the Lions could not force the ball home for a third time and slipped to a loss. The match stats, there you go, 2 bookings for us, Leonard and Brian. A crowd of 16,456, 2,423 of those were Watford fans. The team was as follows: Jensen, Leonard, Hutchinson, Cooper, Bryan, Saville, Denor, Essay, Honeyman, Watmore and Bradshaw. The substitutions, of course, as we all know, they came on the 60th minute, because that's how they go, and they were Amaku on for Essay and Langstaff on for Honeyman, 62nd minute. And then in the 84th minute we had McNamara on for Leonard, just because he'd been beaten up a bit. He had a bandage on his head and all that. And then Nisbet on for Bradshaw, which and then on the subs bench it was Roberts, Leahy, Smith. Yeah, Carl Smith. You probably don't know him. He's under 21, and Massey and Harding. So 3 under 21 players on the bench in terms of Leahy, Smith, and Massey. What can you say? You've got to say that is one of the worst debuts for Millwall ever, in terms of the Great Dane, Lucas Jensen. Not much great about his performance today. That was absolutely abysmal. And it seems now we have, obviously the next game up is a cup game. It's in a couple of days. It's I don't know if they were already discussed and swapping out the keepers. That is a thing that usually happens, and that needs to happen. We don't need any of this get back on the horse and go again. No, what we need to see the other keeper play now. Obviously this is a cup game. It is important, but it's not as important as 3 points in the league that we are seemingly in trouble of getting relegated from. So we need to see the other keeper play, and if Roberts plays like Spider-Man down at Fratton Park and he keeps a clean sheet, then he needs to be seriously considered for a role in starting against Bristol City. And the other guy needs to get his head down, keep his chin up. That seems to be impossible to do both at the same time, but you know what I mean. It's metaphorical, not literal. And he just needs to crack on. And we'll see how we go. But that's 2 games in a row now. The Southampton game that he's cost us, and this game now that he's cost us. And you say the goal from the corner, but also from the free kick. His positioning was wrong. He dived at it with one-handed. That might work in League One. That's certainly not going to work in League Two. He seemed to be crouching down. It's just all round just bizarre decision, and it seems as though one of the most important people at the club this season is Andy Marshall. He needs to take one of these keepers or both of them and get them polished up and try and make them shine like a diamond, because that was absolutely abysmal. And not like we were playing Leeds or we were playing Middlesbrough. We were playing one of the predicted to be one of the worst teams in the league, that are arguably worse than they were last season, because they've let a lot of players go. Although they did sign one of the Georgian stars of the Euros. Yeah, that was just... Now, it's not all doom and gloom. We did hit the woodwork. Obviously, George Honeyman, if that would have went in, lovely jubbly, would have been a different story. And George Saville as well. But again, so we want all that, and again, Tom Bradshaw, like, what is he doing in the team? We have Langstaff, we have Nisbet, and you're still just playing Tom Bradshaw because he's the only thing we've got to target man, and he ain't all that at that, because the aerial, like, you could see when it did go up in the air to him, it didn't win a thing. When the changes were made, when Amaku came on, it was like night and day. It was like someone had flicked a light switch on in a darkened room. It was illuminated. We had something going forward. We had some pace, and he had an assist for Watmore's first goal. He run down the side and he put it into Watmore, and Watmore obviously had to do a bit of work and make it for himself. But yeah, like Amaku, like, again, we were waiting for the 60th minute. Like, you could see there's clearly something wrong there. That Amaku isn't playing. There's clearly something wrong, and the only reason why that worked was because obviously Amaku comes on, he goes on the left, so that means Watmore goes in the middle. That's the only reason why Watmore scored those goals. And when George Honeyman had the chances where he hit the bar, and then he had a follow up, and that was kind of cleared off the line, not quite off the line. It was a few yards off the line, forward. That was through Watmore running through the middle, and then the ball spilling out to Honeyman, who was on the left. Watmore needs to play in the middle, and Amaku can go on the left, especially if we've got no Fleming. So when that change happened, wow, like, boom, it was night and day. But you see with the Watmore goal as well, the first goal, with Amaku basically having an assist, a shot creating action. When they scored it, basically no one celebrated with Amaku. I know they grabbed the ball and run back to the centre circle to carry on and kick off again and go again, but they didn't even look over him. If you watch on the highlights, there's not even an acknowledgement. So there's clearly something going on behind the scenes. The only one was Casper Denor. He goes over to like pat Amaku on the back. Like, there's clearly something going on there. That maybe he's been upset that he's not been playing and he's kicked his toys out of the pram, and all the other players don't like him. Like, this is... He needs to play. Obviously, I would say he needs to start the next game, but the next game is the cup game. So I don't know. The only player I think definitely 100% needs to start the next game, as in the cup game, is the goalkeeper. I want to see the other goalkeeper play. I would rather not see Bradshaw start, to be honest. And we'll see. We'll take it from there. But in terms of the next league game against Bristol City, Amaku needs to start. He needs to start. Now, you might say, well, of course he's going to look good when he comes on against tired players. Because you can see, if you look at the Watford team, they didn't make any changes until the 75th minutes. So their changes were reactive, but obviously they don't have any players on their bench either. But, so obviously, if he's quick and he's skillful and he's going to come on and he's going to play against tired players, can he do that from the start? Well, we need to find out. We need to see. And when you move Watmore in the middle, he's a completely different player. And it's interesting to see at the start of the game, before the start of the game, everyone's slagging off Watmore, saying, headless chicken and all that. He scored 2 goals today. He was the only goal threat we had. Bradshaw's not going to score. You could give him 7 chances. He's not going to get one of them. You could put it on a play for him. He's done. He's cooked. He's washed. Bradshaw, what is he still doing here? He should have kicked him out and sent him to Wrexham. Even if we didn't have a replacement lined up. Because we still got Nisbet, we still got Langstaff, and we still got Leahy. Leahy would be better than Bradshaw. So yeah, we wait to see how what the reaction is to this, and who gets in the team. Now, if you're not going to play Amaku, you certainly need to play Watmore in the middle. If you're playing the 4-2-3-1, and I said this before the game, this isn't post 2020 post vision. If you follow that Millwall podcast, they do a live show on a Friday and a Sunday. It's very good because they involve the chat a lot. It's not just them talking amongst themselves and you're listening. They get the chat involved. I'm there most Fridays. You should go and check it out if you can, especially live, and get involved with it. I said when they were going what the team should be: Amaku on the left, Watmore in the middle. And that's why. But why? Why Watmore in the middle? When you have a player who can hold on to the ball and can keep possession of it and shirk off a single player trying to tackle him, that means that the opposition needs to use 2 or more players to tackle them. And what does that do? That creates space. And that's what happened. There was a lot of space. They tackled Watmore. They brought him down. Could have been a penalty. Create space for Honeyman to run in and get the second ball, have the shot on goal, hit the post, then have the follow-up shot. And that's what needs to happen. Now, obviously, interesting as well, Watmore playing 90 minutes. Obviously, we were led to believe that he's got injury problems and he can't do 90 minutes, but he played 90 today. Maybe they know that he's not going to start or be involved against Portsmouth. Maybe because obviously this is 2 days away. We've got Sunday, Monday, and then we go on Tuesday. So maybe they already know, and they've already kind of half planned it out, that Watmore will play 90 minutes today, not play against Portsmouth, and then come back for the Bristol game. So we'll wait and see. If hopefully they do start with Roberts against Portsmouth, and we'll see how we go. Who seem to be a bit alright, or maybe Leeds ain't all that, because I don't know if you check the other scores in the league today. Up at Ellen Road on opening day, whoops, it was Leeds 3, Portsmouth 3. Yes, Leeds conceded 3 goals to a newly promoted team and only drew 3-3. So there you go. Crazy stuff. And West Brom smashed QPR 3-1 with a hat-trick from one of their players who is the top scorer in the league. And just behind him is Duncan Watmore, the Boo Boys' favourite, who's got 2 goals today. Should have had another one, but there you go. I mean, what a crazy game. Now, moving on to this from the londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press's online website, is the post-match comments of Millwall manager Neil Harris. Millwall boss Neil Harris, unhappy at defensive displays as unbeaten record at Den since return is ended by Watford. Mill head coach Neil Harris was left disappointed with his team's defending in today's 3-2 loss to Watford and was particularly cutting on their opening goal at the Den. Idomu Kiamba's corner kick went directly in to open the scoring for the Hornets, with goalkeeper Lucas Jensen making his debut not appearing to be impeded. Georgian international Georgi Chekvadze produced an excellent 30-yard free kick early in the second half to make it 2-0. Again, in my opinion, that should have been saved. See what Andy Marshall says about it, but I think if you look at Jensen, the way he lines up, the way he plants his feet, the way he dives it with only one hand, I think it wasn't, I have to check back, but I think it was, normally when players dive one-handed, they get an extra stretch by using their opposite hand. I think he dived at it with the hand that was on that side. So he was standing, so it would have been his right hand. Rather, when they do one-handed, they use the left hand and go over that way, if you understand, to the opposite way. But yeah, that shouldn't have gone in either. Duncan Watmore pulled it back to 2-2 near the end of normal time. He showed quick feet to convert after Idomu Maka's cross was only partially blocked and was then super clinical from George Saville's excellent pass. But Watford had another twist to the tail as the substitute Mileta Rakovic headed in from Tom Delu Bashiri's deflected shot in the 90th minute. George Honeyman and George Saville both hit the woodwork for the South Londoners. It ensured a first home loss for Harris since he returned to the club in late February. Mill had paid their respects to goalkeeper Matija Sarkic, who passed away in June before the game started. The Montenegro international's family were in attendance. Harris, asked if Rakovic's clincher was offside, said, there's not been a lot of noise in the changing room about it being offside. I'll need to see it again. I don't think we settled very well at the start. We looked very emotional in our decision making, and I really understand that it was a tough day for all of us today. We went behind to a goal that doesn't belong in under 12 football, let alone first team football at the 10. But then we played really well up until half time. We found a solution to playing around the outside of Watford's great chances. We should have scored when we hit the post, but if it's not then a goal, then it should be a penalty for a challenge of Watmore. I spoke to the boys about a little bit more bravery in second half. We were excellent. We played really, really well, and the second goal was a sucker punch like the first, because they hadn't got in our final third until that moment. Getting back to 2-2, we were bold and brave with the ball. You'd think, here we go. We got the momentum. Have scored 2 really good goals, and the place is rocking. I'm just really disappointed with my group for the manner of the third goal as well. It's really poor by us. I won't make excuses for people. Obviously, it wasn't emotionally difficult today. Did we get wrapped up in that at the end? Possibly, but I do expect better traits from my Mill team than that. It was a really strong individual performance by Duncan Watmore. He was exceptional, like the best player on the pitch by a mile. We played really well in the football at times, and that was a huge step forward for us. We created some really good chances, and we were a dominant team, the best team out of the two. But ultimately, the scoreline doesn't suggest we deserve to win the game, and that's all that matters in football. I'm not naive enough to think that we play like that and we're going to win every week. No. We have to make sure we're better in both boxes, and we have to find a balance to being attack-minded and as open as we are with the ball to making sure we don't get punished down the other end. Ultimately, the punishments today come from individual errors, and we need to be better on them. Ryan Leonard needed lengthy treatment and a bandage after a clash of heads in the second half. The right back was subbed off late on. It just shows his character. What a lad, said Harris. To come back on and battle away like he did, brilliant. It shows the character of our group and his mindset, why he was voted player of the season by our fan base, and he played really, really well. No, obviously doesn't seem to be injured. I think it was just a cut on his head that probably needs to be bandaged up and left to heal. Yeah, there you go. That's the manager on that. Now more on the tribute. So obviously Matija Sarkic tribute today. Mill put on brilliant tribute to goalkeeper Matija Sarkic. This is from the londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press's online website. Neil Harris praised both sets of supporters for the way they paid tribute to Matija Sarkic before Mill's championship opener against Watford. The young goalkeeper died in June, and the Lions designated their first home league game as the one to remember the Montenegro international. There was a montage on the big screen shortly before kickoff showing Sarkic's saves, as well as his teammates talking about him before minutes applause by both sets of fans. From a club perspective, brilliant, said Mill head coach Neil Harris. The fans were outstanding. They came ready to support Matty's family, the Sarkic family, and also remember Matija as a lad. The Watford fans were exceptional as well. It was a lovely moment. It was a privilege to be here, and it shows what a privilege it is to do our profession, because a 26-year-old lad has lost the opportunity to push on in his career, but also his life as well. And we have to remember why we're here today. Hopefully we did the Sarkic family proud, and we're respectful of that, and did Mill justice. But then the Mill football side, we didn't, and that's disappointing, because the occasion deserved more. And we fell short, unfortunately. It's a very difficult to put into words, and we would all have to deal with adversity in the workplace or with family adversity, and everyone knows what the grieving process is, and it's been difficult for the football club. Of course it has. 12 months on from the opening day of the season, when we remember John Belson, our beloved owner. I can't praise the football club or the players highly enough for the way they've approached every moment, like even the first day back in the club into today's tribute. Did it affect us? Oh, of course it did. You expected to, because we're such a close group of lads, and ultimately, when you remember footballers that you've passed away, you think of their families first and foremost, and you don't think of them as footballers first. You think of them as sons, fathers, or brothers, and our thoughts and prayers go to the Sarkic family, as they've done from all of us for months. We didn't quite deliver the outcome we felt was appropriate, and people handle emotion in different ways. Some players handled it really well, and some really struggled, and that's why I don't want to be too cutting with the group. We certainly didn't envisage losing our first home game of the season, and I don't want to lose at the Den all this season, but we have. Why did we concede the goals when the last season we only conceded 9 goals in 13 games? I'm sure when we look back and study 6 games down the line, and we've kept some clean sheets, maybe we'll look back and say the emotion was just too much for us. Indeed, but I would say, Jensen, did he know Sarkic? I don't think he knew Sarkic, so why was he upset that he played so badly? Maybe the pressure was on him in terms of having to come in and fill the boots of the player. But that was just an abysmal. That was, like I said, that was one of the worst debuts of a Millwall player ever. And can he come back from that? And obviously, we've all seen some excellent debuts that players have made, and then they've kind of turned really sour. One note would be Adrian Siriu. You remember him? He had an absolute fantastic debut, and then after that, it just faded away. So maybe adversity will do something to Lucas Jensen, and he'll crack on from this. But like I said, I would like to see Roberts play in the cup game on Tuesday. Now, got some pictures from today. Millwall and Watford met at the Den on the opening day of the Sky Bet Championship on Saturday. Take a look at the action from SC16 in the match gallery below, and this is from millfc.co.uk, the club's official website. There you go. There is Duncan Watmore again with his faces, with his carry-on style faces, the grimacing, the just absolutely hilarious faces, the many faces of Duncan Watmore. That would make a great fanzine name, the many faces of Duncan Watmore. And there he is there celebrating. That's the second goal, I believe. And there it is, the much maligned Duncan Watmore coming up with 2 goals. What more can he do? What more can he do? That, I believe, is the occasion where Saville hit the bar, the post, should I say, rather than the bar. Bradshaw, Honeyman, Denall, Essay, there are the bandages. And we're back to it. And that's it. That is it for today. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.